Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. He's a swole daddy and a medical baddie. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We have received some feedback about the amount of technical terminology I've been using, such as liver function tests and dignity, so I will try to stick to more common terminology in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Hi, friends.
Cameron works so hard to make sure that our podcast stays relevant.
Working hard.
Okay, that's good to hear. Are you trying to make train sounds?
It's a shovel.
Oh, a shovel, okay.
This is me shoveling all the laughs, all the humor, all the fun, all the things that you can't bring to the table onto the pile that is the podcast.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Oh, my back.
Yeah, so Cameron tries so hard to keep the podcast relevant and understandable to our listeners that when he was told that it was getting chilly outside, he began a search for this it clown because it was getting chilly outside. And furthermore, where he could also find some of this chili. So Cameron...
Where I could find a Chili's to go.
Okay, I guess I misinterpreted because it's chilly outside. You were looking for...
Yeah, Chili's to go.
You were hungry.
You're outside. You just pull up into your spot, and then they bring you the food.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we're not sponsored by Chili's to go, but I think if we put a little pressure on them, we could.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, no, it'd be great to be sponsored by Chili's. That sounds nice.
I'm just saying maybe if we figure out who the CEO of Chili's is, maybe get a house key, maybe sneak in a little bit, and then just kind of wing it. I don't know what's going to happen after then, but that's kind of the fun of it.
I feel like that's not the fun of it. That's, sneaking into someone's house without their knowledge.
Ooh, yeah. This is already juicing me up. This is so fun.
Well, also with us is Digital in the house. Fitness and health. Fitness and health. Fitness and health.
This is already juicing me up. This is so fun.
And later, Cameron tells me...
How's this for baby back ribs? That's maybe a thing I could say to him.
What was that?
How's this for baby back ribs?
Oh, to the CEO?
Yeah.
But would you have ribs in your hands?
Well, these are all things that we can workshop and figure out in the future. While we're there. Again, we're going to wing it. I think we should really trust our instincts on this one.
My instincts are telling me don't do it.
How's this for a baby back rib? Look out, it's a baby back rib. See, these are all things that we could maybe talk about and kind of figure something out.
Right. Okay, well, and later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a very special guest.
That is true, Dr. London.
Right, so look forward to that. But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. Quote, "He really gets me going, LOL, if only I wasn't married. Married Bill 63 years ago this spring, happily married." End quote. First of all, thank you so much for reaching out to us here at the Jock podcast. We always appreciate hearing back from our listeners. To answer your question, it's great that you've been married for 63 years. That's quite an accomplishment. And we here at the podcast congratulate you for that. Though temptations can always arise, I admire that you can recognize the valuable relationship that you already have.
Oh, you think you're so awesome? Well, here's an awesome blossom for you.
That's for
the Chili's guy.
The Chili's guy.
I mean, I assume that's who she was talking about, right? Not her husband, but the guy who like really gets things going for her.
Do you think she was referring to the Chili's CEO?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure. But perhaps I thought since she was sending it to us that it was addressed to maybe the podcast itself or something.
Nope.
Anyway, to that listener, thank you for listening. Now for a tale from our clinic. A patient came in and I asked the usual questions like how they have been since their last appointment, whether they've been taking their medications as prescribed, etc. And I often ask them just to bring their pill bottles with them so we can be sure about what they were taking and how much they have left. When I asked if this particular patient had been taking his medications and whether he needed a refill, he held out his empty pill bottle. For a moment, I thought, okay, so he ran out of his medications. But whenever I asked, he clarified. Oh no, I have more meds left. See, I take them out of this bottle because I don't like how it looks. And I transfer it to a bigger bottle. Then I transfer pills from that bottle into my daily medicine planning dispenser. So that is an example of how it can be difficult for clinicians to get a clear story from a patient, even about something as simple as a medication.
I think it's really reassuring that people know that they can go to you with anything, with any of their issues, and you will tell their story anonymously on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
especially embarrassing things that say on accident, maybe dealing with drug addicts and things of that nature. I like it.
Well, it's anonymous and it's not identifying information.
Which I do want to deal with some of this stuff a little bit because I have been uncomfortable with the anonymous nature of these things. Are they going to hack us if you keep telling these stories?
Okay, no. When I say anonymous, I mean unidentified, not...
Well, yeah, that's what makes them so scary, dude.
Yeah. And
Anonymous, the number one hacker group of 2009. Remember those V for Vendetta masks?
Yeah.
And they carried signs against Scientology?
Yeah, so
They stood up against Scientology.
Wow.
Before them, the only people brave enough to do that was the most popular comedy television show, South Park.
They stood up against Scientology.
You know?
So I guess this is my fault. I should have clarified that when I say anonymous, I don't mean the organization anonymous.
It sends shivers down my spine.
Yeah. So I'm not referring to them or, to that hacker group. I'm actually referring to just sort of the concept of anonymity where you're not identified. And so with these patients, sometimes there'll be a funny thing that happens, some little sort of odd thing in conversation.
Yeah, if they don't say everything perfectly, they can rest assured that you're just going to nail them on the podcast.
Yes.
Just really like rake them over the coals.
Yes.
And that's what I love about this show. Holding no punches. Especially towards the sick and addicted.
Well, and usually these are with patients who are, generally, I mean, it varies between patients, but it's more about conversational things.
Right.
Sort of like what you deal with in everyday life. But sort of the reason why we do it is because I meet so many new people every day that in a given day you'll run into someone more quirky. And it's just like any job where you meet a lot of new people from all walks of life.
Well, and that's probably their quirks and things like that are, one, probably the reason they want to stay anonymous, and two, the reason they probably were forced towards a life of, crime-based hacking.
Okay.
And I do want to say, if you want to hack someone on this podcast, if you're taking offense towards these stories and having your medical history just thrown around publicly, I do not have anything. I don't have a single thing. I don't have a single asset. I am hugely in debt Dr. London has a yacht. He has a yacht inside of a yacht. Don't ask me why, but he insisted on it.
Wow.
Just saying. Just throwing that out there. And his social security number
No.
is 432.
No, yeah, okay.
What? Oh, so you can just dish it? You can dish all these stories, but you can't give the people what they want?
No. Let's move on from
All
there.
right.
Now for today's medical topic, abdominal aortic aneurysm. Abdominal aortic aneurysm is an abnormal localized dilation or expanded portion of the aorta. And so the aorta is the big blood vessel that comes out of the heart and down through the abdomen. So problems with the aorta can have big consequences. As for abdominal aortic aneurysm, the average time of diagnosis of one is 65 to 70 years old, and is more common in men and smokers. So men who smoke are typically screened for this condition via ultrasound at some point between the ages of 65 and 75 years of age. One reason we screen for it is that
you like those smoked baby back ribs? Well, how about this? How about I smoke you with this?
okay, and that's
I'm still kind of workshopping stuff over here. Sorry.
The Chili's CEO. All right, well, one reason we
you're
screen
a smoker, you might have aortal, whatever you said.
So one reason we screen for abdominal aortic aneurysm is that we may not even, it may not be present clinically, but rather it can progressively expand until slowly it ruptures all of a sudden. So the triad of abdominal pain, hypotension, and a palpable pulsatile abdominal mass indicates a ruptured aortic aneurysm. And for that, emergency surgery is indicated.
Well, and I do want to say, I do think it's fine to mess with the Chili's CEO guy. Who cares? But you don't want to mess with triads.
Okay, and I guess that's my fault. I should clarify this. When I say triad, I mean it's three symptoms grouped together. Or I guess some of them are symptoms, some of them are signs.
Right. It's multiple criminal organizations, I believe, based in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and then maybe Singapore or something like that. So it's multiple groups kind of under one umbrella, and you do not want to mess with these triads.
All right. Well, I guess similarly to that concept, you don't want to mess with a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm, which the triad, once again, would be hypotension, abdominal pain, and a palpable pulsatile abdominal mass.
Well, and especially if they're trying to loan you money that's just too good to be true, just know that if you can't pay up with that crazy interest that they're requiring, they're not just going to get mad at you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so.
They're going to cut off a limb, cut off a finger. Is that what you're prepared for?
I think we might be talking about different things here. But we can...
I understand why you're trying to change the subject. We've never been 100% clear on where you get all your funds. I've never been 100% clear on it.
For me, it's because... So I work as a doctor. That's
yeah? Then what? I never see you at home during the day.
That's because I'm usually at, the hospital or clinic.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Do you think that people who are always...
Never see you at the house.
That people who are at the house make money by being at the house?
I'm just saying it's impossible to verify your whereabouts because you're never around. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know where you're getting all this money from. And now you're trying to distance yourself from the triads, which is interesting to me. That's all. And you're not on board with this Chili's thing. I don't know how that connects, but I'll figure that out eventually.
Well, Cameron, you said you have a guest for us today?
We do, Dr. London.
Okay. Hello there.
Hi, is this Dr. London?
Yes, that's me.
Do you go by London or you go by Smith? Because your last name's Smith, right?
Yeah, usually I go by Dr. London just because it's easier to identify. There are a lot of Dr. Smiths, but there are only so many.
I see. Now, I was thinking about calling you Doctor.com because it's actually drlondonsmith.com, isn't it?
Yeah, so you could, but... And that, I guess, would be less common even than Dr. London.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a .com or really even a doctor.org or doctor.gov.
Basically what happened is there was another Dr. Smith that looks a lot like our Dr. London Smith, who did some things that were questionable. And so Dr. London started going by Dr. London. Then there was a Dr. London who looked exactly like Dr. London that started doing some things that were questionable. So to distance himself from that, he started going as drlondonsmith.com.
I see. I was just confused about this. I mean, I want to approach the people, the professionals I'm working with a little bit of respect. So we'll go with Dr. London if that's okay with y'all.
Sure. And what was your name?
So I'm Sam Clamenson.
Sam Clamenson.
Yeah, you can call me Sam. I don't want people to get tripped up on that last name, just like I got tripped up on yours. And I was calling in because I've been having a lot of pain.
Okay. Could you tell me about this pain? Can you tell me more?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a deep pain. Like, it's not like, I broke my leg or I got a rash or I got, a bee sting. It's like a really, really deep pain. Like, I feel it in my soul. It's like a really, really deep pain. Like, I feel it in my soul.
Is this more of an emotional pain than it is a physical pain?
I mean, it's emotional, but it's also like, I'm sitting back and it's like, man, I just ache. Like, after a day, I'm just aching all over, inside and out.
Oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. How long has this been going on?
I mean, I've been saying it's probably, 6 months. Half a year probably, yeah.
Okay, so you had these aches and pains for 6 months. Have you tried seeing a doctor about it?
I have my own kind of ways of addressing this stuff. Like, it might be a little bit foreign to some of your listeners, but I really like lemon juice, Like, usually when I get hurt, I just put some lemon juice on and things get better.
Wow.
Huh. Well,
I broke my arm last year, put some lemon juice on. It was fine in 3 to 6 months.
Really?
Wow.
It all healed up?
Yeah, I just had the lemon juice on there, waited, and eventually I was better. I mean, shucks,
Huh.
I feel like that usually. The lemon juice, I got, I think it was a couple years ago. I got I walked into a hive, like a beehive, and I got stung all over. I was in the hospital for months and months, didn't do anything. Put some lemon juice on it, I was fine. I mean, I didn't even notice anything after 8-9 months.
Well, that brings me to my next question. Do you deal with lemons a lot at work, or what do you do for work?
Oh yeah, right. So I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Is that a little bit of lemon-based this and a little bit of lemon-based that?
I do have, I guess I call it kind of a lemon business where I sell the lemons. And I figure, I'm getting hurt, I'm a little bit of a klutz, so I get hurt quite a bit, so I got to use the lemons for that. But then, I got leftover lemons because I buy them in bulk. I usually go to them from Costco, so, I sell the rest of the lemons. And, there's that saying, every time life gives you lemon, make lemonade. So I got plenty of lemonade since I'm selling some of that too.
So your business is going to Costco, buying lemons, and then just selling those exact same lemons.
Exactly. And, a lot of people don't realize this, but you need a membership to go to Costco. And I got a membership, so.
Oh, so that's most of your overhead right there, is the $50 a year membership.
Right, exactly.
And I'm sure you're probably spending money to get a hot dog, like one of the $2 dogs, or, a slice of pizza.
Yeah, I like the hot dogs, but I've been trying to cut back on the meat, so I usually get the pizza, I get some soft serve yogurt.
And you're probably just munching on lemons, right?
Yeah, I mean, the lemons are pretty good for you, all the way around. They got vitamin C, and I think that's why it usually works on my pain, except for this pain. This is a soulful pain, and that's why I'm calling in Dr. London, because this is some real pain, and I feel like I need a shoulder to cry on, and maybe a doctor to kind of get at my deep woes here.
Well, Dr. London, I think we should take it back. You said this started about 6 months ago, so in about June, right?
Right, June. Mm-hmm.
So do you remember the before and after? Do you remember what was the inciting incident of this deep, deep soul-based pain?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like, and I don't want to diagnose myself, because, people go there, they go on WebMD, and they try to do this and stuff, but To be honest, my wife left me.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. When you say, so she left you, have you tried going to therapy or anything like that for this?
I mean, I've been to a couple therapists, and normally they say, well, you always smell like lemons. You always carrying lemons around. You always drinking lemonade. Maybe that has something to do with your wife leaving you. And I just don't feel like that's right. Like I felt like I needed professional medical advice about this because that can't be right.
The way people judge other people just for being a little different astounds. Dr. London does this a lot too. He has these patients come in and he's just always like, "Oh, you smell like a specific fruit. Oh, I can't stand you." Blah, blah. He does this.
Well,
Yeah, it's a thing, and I go to a group. It's like Fruitaholics Anonymous, and there's people who like oranges. There's people who like pears, and I don't even know if a pear is a fruit or a vegetable, to be quite honest. But we let them in the group anyway, and it's a common thing. So,
Do you get along with these people, or
generally, I mean, there was one person who came in and she was like, "Oh, I hate lemons. I love strawberries," and I was just like, I understand she's got a condition. I did some deep breathing. I kind of centered myself, did some meditation, and I got through it. So
I'm so sorry you had to deal with that.
oh, Sam, this sounds like it's been difficult. Did your did this? You said this lemon business started before your wife left you, then, right? Before 6 months ago, you were getting into lemons. How long before that did you start this lemon enterprise?
I would say I've been doing it for a couple years.
Okay. And well, I'm not trying to take a side here on any of it, but did this affect your marriage at all?
Yeah, I mean, my wife, she would be like, why are we drinking lemonade again? We drank it last night, we drank it the night before, we drank it the week before, we drank it the month before, and I just told her it's got lots of good properties. It's got vitamin C, and yeah, I mean, she didn't always love the lemons, but I didn't always love everything about her either. I mean, that's what love is, man.
Fool.
You make it work, and she what can I say? I mean, sometimes she wanted the orange juice, and I was like, okay, fine. But I sat there kind of drinking my lemonade with the judging eyes, and I guess kind of got to her. But yeah, I mean, we made it work for a little while, but yeah, now I just got this soulful pain, and I don't know what to do about it.
This reminds me of a relationship I was in that it still kind of hurts to talk about, but I kind of put both me and the person I was dating on a diet grape Faygo diet.
Okay.
Faygo, of course, being the soda famously associated with juggalos.
Okay.
And that became kind of what we consumed morning, day, and night. By diet, I don't mean that wasn't just what we had. I meant that's what we were consuming at all hours of the day.
Oh,
and she
okay.
kept saying, "My teeth hurt. My kidneys hurt. Like, all these things hurt so bad." And I kept saying, "Well, you committed to this lifestyle. You committed to this relationship. So what I'm hearing is you don't love me."
Well, yeah, and so how did that turn out?
I don't know. I left. I just walked away.
Oh, so in this case, this caused you to leave because you were frustrated with her. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, Cameron. It's a lot of difficult relationships based around, I guess, diets today. And I know.
Right, and that's why I've been looking at this. I've been looking at the websites. I go on like the OkCupid. I go on the Match.com, and I put them in like I love lemons. If you don't love lemons, yeah, I probably ain't gonna love you. And I've been going on some dates. I've been getting out there, and sometimes lemons ain't in season, but I'm still eating the lemons, like the ones I like store them in the fridge and freezer. And I'm not so sure everyone's so into this lifestyle, but I feel like we should be a country where anyone can find anyone, right?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you right now, you're going to have people, probably people like Dr. London because of his judgmental attitude, telling you, "Hey, cool it on the lemons. It seems clear that the lemons are affecting every aspect of your life negatively." And I'm saying I had people telling me about that, about my diet grape Faygo, and I said, F you. Yeah, like the CeeLo Green song, F you. And I told them to get out of my face. And you know what? I drink Faygo every single day, still to this day. My life revolves around it. I think about it nonstop, and I'm happier than I've ever been. I want to kill myself, but I'm the happiest I've ever been.
So wanting to kill yourself, that's an up from where you were.
Oh, yeah. Because before I wanted to kill myself and I had no Fago whatsoever.
Oh, but now you have the same feeling, but in addition to that.
Now I've got a ton of Fago.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's actually concerning, Cameron. That's something we should probably talk about. We can deal with it after the podcast, but.
Okay. So what do you suggest? I mean, we're listening to Sam's issues and this pain that he's dealing with. I mean, Sam, what have you tried to help this pain?
Well,
Have you tried any?
I mean, there's lemons. I've been eating the lemons, and
Yeah,
I
and
made some
recommend continuing on that path.
I made some lemon meringue pie, and never had lemons quite that way before. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I see you're just eating the peel on its own right now.
I feel I feel like it's probably got some fiber or something. I mean, it's good. It's good to eat the skin, as what people say about potatoes, right? I mean,
yeah, I can't speak to it. Have you? Well, one problem with eating one particular type of food to the exclusion of all others, I'm not sure if you've been doing that, but it can leave you with vitamin deficiencies.
well, some people have that point of view. I mean, you're right. Some of my dates have said similar, and I've taken that into consideration.
When you go out to eat, do you order just lemons to eat?
Generally lemons, but I get some sides sometimes. I get some limes sometimes, some limes on the side. So,
And if that's true to you, you need to stick with it. I know Dr. London here is saying, "Oh, mix it up, and you're not getting the vitamins that you need." I'm saying, screw him. You know what's pure in your heart.
And
if
that's
lemons, baby.
That,
that's
my
what you gotta
friends,
stick with.
that's what I like about this show, because you can get Dr. London's opinion, but you can also get a second opinion. You don't even have to pay twice. Like you get them both in one place.
Oh yeah, you can get Dr. London's. How do I even put this? Like scammy, scummy, made up.
I don't know if it's
nonsense. Or you can get like someone with some real street smarts who consumes 35 gallons of diet grape Fago every single day.
Okay, well, I have another question for Sam. So I notice that you have, well, for one thing, we all know that, vitamin C prevents scurvy. So that's one bright side to you having all these lemons. But I do see that your teeth look like they're decaying. And I think I see mouth ulcers from all the acidity. Did your wife mention that as an have
Well, I mean, she did a couple times mention a couple things about the dental area. I brush my teeth. I have some lemon flavored toothpaste, and I do try to take care of them. I mean, lemon's a fruit. You got to remember this. And I never heard of a doctor who said you eating too many fruits. So.
Absolutely, yeah, that's ridiculous. This is the kind of stuff. Dr. London, anti-vax, anti-fruit.
Yes.
No, okay, I should clarify on that. I'm not anti-vax. I strongly support vaccinations.
Dr. London, forced vaccinations and forced fruits, but no lemons. This is the kind of stuff he tries to push.
Okay, so Sam...
Well, real quick, I want to say you mentioned lemon-flavored toothpaste. Could you walk through what that is?
Yeah,
is it just
it's
normal...
Yeah, it's toothpaste. It's a company out of Florida that makes it, and everything out of Florida is pretty good in my opinion. I'm from Northern Florida myself, but it's basically it's your normal toothpaste, but it's kind of yellowish. It kind of tastes like lemons. It's for the lemon lovers out there. So and I brush my teeth 2-3 times a day with that stuff, and I figure as long as you're maintaining the dental hygiene, you can eat whatever you want.
And Dr. London, could you maybe talk through some of the medical benefits of consuming a constant stream of lemons day in and day out?
Well, and that's one of the things I'm trying to address here is that actually, so some of that, a balanced diet involves lemons or some citrus fruits and vegetables, but it also involves other food groups.
It healed his broken bones over the course of months and months.
What I'm guessing is perhaps either I'm not sure the condition of his bones at the time. Like I wasn't there to see it, but that sounds a little bit far-fetched to me, that merely putting on lemon juice would fix it. That seems less than believable to me, if that
Over
makes
the
sense.
course of months and months.
Yeah, especially over the course of months.
I mean, we can't expect a bone to just heal itself overnight with any treatment. I mean, every kind of treatment takes time. I mean, am I wrong, doctor?
Well, it sounds like what you just stated, waiting for it to heal itself, it could have very well have been what happened, since it took months and months.
Well, I mean, you got an opinion. I mean, your wonderful producer Kim has got opinion too. So
It's absurd, Dr. London. It's not magic. Bones can't just heal themselves over a month, months and months period, probably in a cast or something like that. It's not like it's going to heal itself.
Yeah. So you have
But the lemons.
You have osteoblasts and osteoclasts. The osteoclasts, where the osteoblasts lay down bone. This is all sort of a process that happens on a cellular level that your bones actually can regenerate. So that's they can heal.
Wow, your bones can regenerate with the help of lemons.
Yes.
This is the kind of information that I love, Dr. London. This is the kind of stuff. I
Okay.
love science.
And I feel like I'm getting so much affirmation from this visit. I mean, Dr. London, you're working miracles here, man. You're making me feel a little less painful already.
Well, I am glad to hear that. But I really think that you should probably, see a new therapist maybe, because it sounds like you're dealing with some things with your wife leaving, and that's more of a therapist kind of thing rather than, a medical physician doctor visit. But although a psychiatrist may also prescribe you something to help with.
And that's what I was.
feeling.
That's what I was going to ask you about, Dr. London, which is that. Is there any kind of like lemon-based medication I can maybe take for this?
I could probably drum something up.
I mean, you could put maybe wrap the pill in a lemon flavored something.
That's what I'm
not
talking
sure.
about. Like, I feel like this is a real breakthrough we're having right here.
Right. Well, and one thing I should say, you really should not exclusively eat just the lemons. I'm going to have to take the side of anyone else in your life who has also said that, because a diet of one thing, too much of one thing is bad. We might just want to wrap this up because I don't really see you wanting to give up this sort of diet, Sam. And it seems to be kind of the root of all your problems is just your love for eating lemons.
Yeah, of course. The root of all your problems is the thing you love most in this world. Great advice, Dr. London. I'm glad that our patients can just call in and get great advice like that. That you just tear them down and say they can't love what they love purely.
Well, so he had a relationship with his wife, I assume, which was affected by this other love for lemons. So
Sam, tell me honestly, who do you love more, your ex-wife or lemons?
I mean, the way I see it is sometimes two people just ain't a right fit. They ain't necessarily cut out for each other, and but sometimes a person and a citrus fruit, they are the right fit, and they generally are cut out for each other, and I can keep eating them, and I'm pretty happy with that decision.
Wow.
So.
This is making me cry. This is so sweet. That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I feel better already, but Dr. London, you have just affirmed everything I already knew to be true about myself and my behavior and how I was right to keep eating lemons until my wife left me. So I just feel so great. I was so happy to be here.
All right. That's not exactly what I was trying to convey, but we really are low on time. Well, thank you, Sam. Clamenson is how you say it?
Yeah, Clamenson.
Clamenson. So, Sam, I think we're going to wrap it up here, but is there a way that any of our listeners can reach you, to follow you or hear you somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, I got my own podcast going. It's called Extremely Offline, and we bring together guests that they talk about all kinds of stuff, but usually from different kind of points of view, trying to get people together for a discussion across differences. So.
Okay, wow, that sounds great. And is there any way they can reach you on follow you on social media or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I got this kind of anonymous moniker. It's ZAIDKILANI. That's my kind of my @ on the social media. So on Twitter and other places. So.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, to our listeners, you should go give that a follow and give it a listen, subscribe. All right. Well, thank you, Sam, for being on. Thank you, Cameron, our producer.
Thank you, Dr. London, for shooting down any suggestion that another person might have and for tearing down the things people love. I appreciate it. I really do. We need people like you to work as sort of a villain in this world.
Okay. And thank you to Digital in the house.
Dr. London has a yacht. He has a yacht inside of a yacht.
Dr. London has a yacht. He has a yacht inside of a yacht.
My name, as Cameron said, is drlondonsmith.com. This has been the Jock Doc Podcast.
See ya.
He has a yacht inside of a yacht.
It's Friday night. Your friends bailed on you again, so you have no plans. You were going to write a 5-star review of the Jock Doc podcast on Monday, but all of these friends of yours had kept you so occupied that, well, you just lost track of time. But tonight, Mr. Teddy Bear had an important meeting that, quote, couldn't wait. Mrs. Stuffed Elephant went to start an ethical circus. Captain Vampire shipped out to the Thumb Wars. So all of your best friends are gone. So maybe it's time to reflect and take care of some of those important things that you've been neglecting. So yes, it is finally time to text Lieutenant Giraffe and Doll with Head Torn Off the 7th with a link to your favorite episode of the Jock Doc podcast.
Now, Dr. London, can you rate and review and share only on Fridays?
Oh, no, actually, you could have done this on Monday, that day
Okay.
whenever your friends blew you off. You could do it on a Tuesday. That's
Like
an
in the
option.
afternoon or in the morning?
Yeah, morning as well. At night is
Oh.
also an option. Mid-morning also.
I can listen to this at night. Like it works at night.
Yeah, it's actually pre-recorded.
Even if I can't see, if it's too dark to see.
Yeah, so actually the thing about podcasts, what makes it such an interesting medium is that it's all audio based. So you could be blind, and to our blind listeners, thank you for listening. To our deaf listeners, also thank you for listening.
Thank you.
It still helps us. So you can text them a link to your favorite episode of the Jock Doc podcast, or maybe just send them our handy website, jockdocpodcast.com, if that's easier. And maybe fill your social media feed with fun stuff from @JockDocPodcast.
And you know what? I would say if you need to make it more enticing, like let's say you have a friend who doesn't really listen to many podcasts and you need them to take interest.
Like Mr. Elephant.
Yeah, you should tell them that there's a really, really great panini recipe in the middle of the podcast.
Oh, that's really good, yeah. Or like there's collectively a great panini recipe if they listen to enough episodes.
Oh, like one ingredient an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to listen for it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And most importantly, it's time to go ahead and leave a 5-star review for the Jock Dog podcast. You can do that in whichever app, especially if you have an Apple product. You could just go to the podcast app and write a review. Just scroll down, write a review. And you can give a 5-star review telling which children's toys were too busy to hang out with you this weekend.
And maybe go into the Reddit comment section. Maybe go to like the Earth porn Reddit and it'll be a picture of like a sunset.
Yeah.
And then you go in there, you're like, oh man, this sunset's so cool.
Reminds me of...
Yeah, I wish I could be watching the sunset while listening to my favorite podcast, the Jock Talk podcast. Or maybe you go to the Taylor Swift's Armpits subreddit, which is a real subreddit.
And it's important.
And on a picture of Taylor Swift's armpits, you say, oh, man, these armpits are so good. I wish I was looking at them while I was listening to my favorite podcast, the Jock Talk podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, if you guys can just keep doing that, because really most of our listener base is Taylor Swift armpit fans, specifically people who dislike the rest of her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Seething hatred for everything else.
Yeah, about her. But love the armpits. So, and of course, we love all of our listeners, including our Taylor Swift armpit fans.
And including Taylor Swift. Taylor reached out to us recently and told us how big of a fan she was.
Uh-huh. No, it's almost embarrassing how much she was gushing about it.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable.
She said that You Belong to Me was about you, Dr. London.
Yeah, and I tried to tell her, I haven't heard of you.
Yeah.
But I didn't say it because she's right there.
It's embarrassing. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I was like, no, but I mean, now I know of her. Now I know about her armpits. Anyway, thank you for listening.